Hello, Dr. Brandon Vaughn, that tie-dye guy, coming to you today to tell you 5 things that you need to do today to start liking yourself more. Self-love is something that many of us need desperately. We mentioned this in previous episodes about giving yourself a break. Well, here's 5 ways to start doing that today. First of all, do you really know yourself? If not, you should put some time to get to know yourself. What things do you like doing? What things do you love doing? So many times we can get caught up, especially if we're perfectionists, in what we can do to impress other people and make our identity solidified by our performance, that we forget what things do we enjoy doing? What things would we do even if we didn't make any money off of it? What things would we do if we could pay someone to allow us to do them? Those are things that probably would indicate to you the things that you really love. And you should spend some time really knowing what makes you happy, what you can get the most out of life. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Own those and know yourself. This is one of the best ways you can start loving yourself and supporting yourself is by knowing what things really make you tick. What are your insecurities? What are your weaknesses? This is a time to be honest about these types of things and take responsibility for them as well. Number 2, treat yourself as a child. This is a very helpful thing many of us can do today to how do we deal with this self-condemnation where we're always against ourselves. If you see yourself as you were a little child, I have this image in my mind when I was a teenager, had a mullet, had my Rat and Motley Crue t-shirts on and different things like that. I talked to that kid because that kid was lost. He was very unsure of himself, didn't know where he was going in life. And I would talk to that kid, and this is the image I have in my mind of a little kid who's just very unsure about himself. And when I see myself as that way, I treat myself with much more compassion. I don't condemn myself. I'm not so critical and mean to myself as I am when I'm the adult person. I tend to speak more optimistic, just like I would talk to any child, and I would be more encouraging, more compassionate, more forgiving when I see myself as that. So if it helps, I mean, if you have to, if you're that desperate, get an actual picture of you when you were young and speak to it. Speak to yourself, but look at that picture if it helps you be more compassionate, less negative self talk, more of a positive self talk if you see yourself from a different angle. Many of us are much more likely to be compassionate to little children, so sometimes we have to see ourselves as that, and that can help a lot. Number 3, forgive yourself. This is sometimes hard to do, especially those of us who tend to rely on perfectionism to support our identity and our worth. We've got to realize perfectionism is a myth. We'll never be perfect. There's never 100% perfection. And even if we get close to achieving it, at what cost does that come? We've got to get to the point where we just forgive ourselves. It's okay to not have it all right. It's okay to not be 100% perfect. As an old saying says, done is better than perfect. That's an incredibly useful thing that we need to get used to in our life, just to have the grace to let things go, to say it's okay. Doesn't mean that you can't strive for an accomplishment or quality, but you can learn to do this without having to be perfect and forgive yourself along the process. We mentioned this about treating yourself as a little child. Another thing that can help is to treat yourself like you treat loved ones. There are things that we would never tell a friend or a loved one or a parent that we tell ourselves. The language that we use, the respect and dignity that we give other people that we don't always give ourselves. So, as a extra on the previous one about treating yourself as a child, sometimes it might help that you treat yourself like you treat your loved ones. Give them compliments, wish good wishes on them. You should do that to yourself as well. And the last thing for today is to learn to say no to things. We said this in a previous episode. Everything you say no to means you're saying yes to other things, vice versa. We've got to be very careful that we're not saying yes to everything, because we can't say yes to everything. We're ultimately going to be saying no to things, and usually the things we end up saying no to are the things that are most important to us. We need to learn to say no to the right things, to have a no list, and let your no be no. So if you can't do it, just don't do it. It's that simple. Hey, if you like videos like this, I would love it if you would leave a comment below. Let me know that you liked it. Maybe hit the subscribe button below so that you can learn about new videos as I post them. And also maybe give me a thumbs up. Everything like that helps other people know about this show and that they can trust it. And I hope that I will see you next time. Go out today and live your life with passion, intention, and purpose. Your life is an occasion. Rise to it. See you next time.
Clock ticking the rest of your life.